if we look at discipline as the antithesis of motivation, we might start to think that disciplined actions are the things that not only we don't want to do, but they do not confer a benefit with regards to motivating factors.
I think, well, the progression, performance, right? Focusing on what you can actually do. When anybody starts lifting, it depends on where they are, but most people are maybe looking for a physical transformation. And it's very difficult to take your mind out of how you look every single day. But as we know, we look the way we do at this point, but we also enjoy the fuck out of this. Despite anything, we'd be doing this every single day, despite what we looked like, because of how enjoyable the gym and performance and progression is. Now, the look is a byproduct of that, but when athletes are truly able to focus on progressing somehow and they truly learn to build the habit of enjoying the gym, or not even just the gym or any sort of physical activity, the body will come. You can't rush the body. It will come. But the first thing you got to focus on is learning how to love this shit and having it become a true habit. That's the big deal.
Yeah. So do you know that clip with Jocko Willink where it's with my buddy Chris Williamson, my roommate. Shout out Chris.
What's up,
Great
Chris?
podcast.
He did a podcast with Chris, and he was talking about the difference between discipline and motivation. And he said, motivation can come and go, but discipline is ultimately what matters, because you're going to do whatever the fuck it is, no matter what, no matter how you feel. And the way that I see the weight room, I don't see myself as disciplined. And I look at Jocko, and he's talking about discipline. He's talking about all these things, and it sucks because I'm like, fuck, I'm not like that. This isn't hard for me.
Yeah,
so I'm motivated, and this is what I found out. It was like I outsourced my motivation. So, Chris, what are we doing today? Are we going to the gym? That's my motivation. Chris, right there. He'll literally, we have two separate doors, and I'll be like kind of in bed still, and he'll ring my doorbell. Ding, 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 and then I'll pop up out of bed. He'll rip on me for 5 minutes straight. We get in the car, we go to the gym, and we just go as hard as fuck in the gym. That's my motivation. I'm his motivation. But we're up early. We're going to the gym.
But wait, you don't enjoy the gym?
But no, and that's the thing. I enjoy that, but some would call that disciplined. But for me, I'm just creating new forms of motivation at every turn. If I don't feel like going to the gym, how can I make it so that I feel like I want to go to the gym? And I realize I do this a lot in Olympic weightlifting too, because when you don't have a day where you can lift heavy and feel like you lifted heavy, it is really, really discouraging. So if you go in there and you kind of have this feeling of I'm going to do something hard today, that I don't have very high expectations of myself. So one of them, it's just a workout where we just did power snatch double. Just you power snatch and then you power snatch. And I'm working out with one of my training partners. His name's Dylan Cooper. He's a great weightlifter, really, really solid coach as well, and really smart guy. And I already did hypertrophy training in the morning with Chris.
Yeah.
And I was like, I just want to go in and go hard. I know I'm going to suck. I know I suck today, whatever. So I walk in, I put my cell phone completely away, and I just start power snatching. And the only thing I focus on is here's 50 kilos. Let me do this perfectly. Boom, I did it. And I walk back and forth. I just walk back and forth, put 70 kilos on. This is the only weight I have to hit today. 70 kilo snatch, 70 kilo snatch, walk back and forth, 90, 100, 110. Then I got 115 for a double. And I'm like, that's some of the best lifting I've ever done in my life. I can't remember the last time I did a power snatch double at 115.
So, quick question. You weren't putting any pressure on yourself to keep doing more. You were just let's see what happens.
I want to work today somehow. I don't know what that is. I'm not fucking disciplined. You know what I mean? It's there's something, and then all of a sudden I get an amazing workout in, and it's whatever. So this is actually a video that I'm currently working on right now. It's kind of trying to work in some nuance to what Jocko says, because what he says scares the shit out of me. If I'm fair, I want to think that I'm a badass and that I'm disciplined and all that shit, but I don't feel like that. And maybe for someone else, it's no. What you're talking about, Zach, that's discipline, dude.
I think what you're alluding to is this is what you love to do. This is what you like. And so therefore it doesn't feel like discipline. But you might have other things in your life. As an example, maybe you're probably in a phase where you're trying to turn things more businessy. And maybe there's aspects of that you don't really love. And then so you then you hire somebody, right? And you bring them on a board. But I mean, when it's things that you like, you either like them enough to where you do them often and it appears that you're disciplined, or you don't. And if you don't do them, it just means you're not as interested as you thought you were. Whether it's to diet for a bodybuilding show, or whether it's to power lift or weight lift, or anything really.
First off, the reason I said goddamn is because you hit the nail on the head with the fucking business stuff.
Once we just go outside of like your actual like niche thing, then it gets all fucked up.
Yes. But also the idea of not enjoying it. What I like to think I do is create that joy somehow, or create a game. Or so the best diets I ever did was I would take a picture of my food and post it to my Instagram story, and I put the number 1. Okay. Then I took another picture, number 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way up to 100 meals in a row. And that was so fun. And like, everyone's like, oh man, meal number 99. Like you know,
like ate pretty well for 100 meals in a row. Something like that. That's
it was so cool.
So you gamify it.
I didn't really have, and I'm horrible with nutrition in that way. You can't get me to weigh shit out, you know? Like, the one thing I do is I will stress out about getting enough protein. I figure this is a good time.
Try that shit at some point.
Yeah.
But
let's get high too with some kratom, some Rhine Bullet. We'll do some legendary.
But that's what I'm saying is like, I will try to outsource my motivation in some way so that I do like it. I want to pull this up because
I'm also going to steal your hand from my foot.
Oh, this guy? Yes.
Oh yeah.
I think of discipline as like the distance away from your goal, either with time or actually really not being able to see the potential of it coming true.
Yeah.
Can you say that again, please?
And still fucking doing it anyway. So I actually wrote it because
Well, here's the thought process I've had for a while. Like, I don't really consider things to be hard necessarily, or maybe I think that people should reinterpret what they think is hard, because the difficulty level that you think something's going to be, by the time you get closer to it, it's going to have decreased. It's going to dissipate a lot because you already did the work to get there. And so it feels badass, and we feel like badasses sometimes doing something. And that's probably why we record a run or record a lift and like, hey man,
there's a motivation too. It's recording.
Yeah. You're motivated, you're fired up, but it's motivation within like a bubble of something that we already love to do.
Right.
I'd imagine like this weightlifting thing didn't come out of nowhere. You probably did some other sports.
Oh yeah.
And you either found out that you were halfway decent at them and got some good feedback from it, or you found out that you sucked at it and you found weightlifting. But either way, it led you to this conclusion that this is what you like to do now, and then you start to just do it. So I think hard work and motivation a lot of times are, and even discipline, I think they're all misunderstood, and I think they're all a little almost mythological in a way. Because if you were to take, somebody like Jocko Willink is so well rounded, so you're like, I don't know where I would place that guy to try to put him in fear. Probably nowhere. But if you were to take the UFC heavyweight champion right now, and you were to drop him off somewhere where there's a war going on and give him night vision and put him, he's got to drop down from a fucking helicopter or whatever, they're going to be terrified.
Yeah.
If you took a Navy SEAL that's already been in war, that's already been doing those things, he would be just as scared to probably go on the morning news and talk as an anchor because they've never done that before.
Yeah.
They're going to feel like they're going to shit themselves while they're sitting there ready to talk. So a lot of it has to do with exposure and what you've been exposed to in the past, but I think it just always goes back to, what do you like to do?
Power Project family, how's it going? Now, sleep is essential for your recovery and your performance, which is why we partner with 8 Sleep mattresses. We call them the Tesla of beds. Changes the temperature based off how you sleep. Andrew, how can they get it?
Yeah, head over to 8sleep.com/powerproject, and at checkout, you guys will automatically save $150 off your entire order. Links to them down in the description, as well as the podcast show notes.
If we look at discipline as the antithesis of motivation, we might start to think that disciplined actions are the things that not only we don't want to do, but they do not confer a benefit with regards to motivating factors. And then I give an example. If my goal is to bench press 225 and my current max is 185, the motivation to get in the gym is inherent, right? So no matter what I do.
Yeah, why'd you say that goal if you're not going to follow through with anything?
But like, this is the thing, is like, Jocko says discipline eats motivation for breakfast. Discipline is the one that matters. But all of my disciplined actions, are they really disciplined if I'm motivated directly by a goal? And that's what I'm questioning. Is like, I know that I want to bench press 225. So when I wake up in the morning, that's not out of discipline, that's out of motivation. Right? So what if there was a way for me to continually create motivation for things that maybe I don't want to do, for actions that will make me a better person? Right? Is that its own form of discipline? And that's the question that I'm trying to ask. And it's like, there might not be an answer. And I'm not disagreeing with Jocko Willink. I love the guy.
Yeah,
I'm also scared shitless of him.
He'll kill us all.
Yeah. So
yeah, we got to delete this.
Let's delete this part of the book. But I have a question for you guys. Could we, and this might be stupid, but couldn't we just say that habit is synonymous with discipline? Like if we just thought about all of those things, right? Like because at this point for us, I'm not disciplined to go into the gym and exercise. It's my habit. When I don't do it, I don't feel as good. And I know that because that's a habit of, and not even just the gym, just physical exertion. I know for me, when I don't have enough physical exertion, I become depressed. It's happened to me in the past. So I don't need just the gym, but I need something to exert so I feel good. It's a habit now.
So the thing is, though, it's like, what if it didn't make you feel good?
This is the thing, though. That's what I wondered, because initially, right? For example, running. We picked up running. My first run, I knew that I wanted to have the ability just to be able to run a few miles, right? And for that, my goal was that running could become habitual. Okay, so
That's pretty cool.
My first few runs, shit sucked. It was painful. My gait was bad. My upper body was tight. After the run the next day, my calves and ankles and Achilles, all that shit was sore. But I knew that over time, this will feel better, because we all have the experience of the gym feeling bad at first. You're really sore. The DOMs are rough. You don't want to get up and do it the next day, but you know that it can become something that doesn't have you feel pain, that becomes beneficial. So my goal with running was to have it become habitual. That was my goal.
Right.
And now it is habitual, where I can do a 3-mile run and I'm not wrecked the next day. But it took initially my perception of the pain after the run. I was like, this is just something to get through, to get to the point where it can become habit.
Yeah.
But did you need motivation to turn it into a habit?
Did I need motivation to turn it into a habit?
This is the thing. Like,
I think James Clear did a good job of describing a lot of this in Atomic Habits. Tim Ferriss has talked along these lines before, and I think maybe what we're trying to describe right here sometimes is that if we can lower the barrier of entry into whatever it is that we can do, if we can lower the hurdle down enough, then maybe we're cool with jumping over it. And maybe it doesn't feel like discipline because we lowered it. You said, hey, Chris, you want to work out? If he said no, now the hurdle just got a little higher.
Yeah.
And you look outside and it's a storm, it's raining, it's fucking cold out. You're like, I don't know. And you just maybe sit there. Maybe it makes everything a little bit harder, but you're saying that it might be a skill set to listen to that YouTube video where someone's yelling at you, or you find something motivational, or maybe even you find motivation in music or playing the drums or playing the guitar, and you lean on that. And once you do that, go for that walk or whatever it is,
Right.
then your mind is back to being a little bit more clear, where you're not as frustrated, you're not as worried about what's going to happen with the day. And you're like, you know what? I do need to go fucking work out, because that's the best thing for me. It's good for me.
I guess my only argument against Jocko would be that it's not, you can't place so much weight. Like, it's the way that he says it's discipline is here and motivation is down. And I feel as though it's more of a duality. It's more of a yin and yang type of thing, masculine and feminine. It is a balance between both is what you need. That's how I feel. That's how I've operated, because
Sounds fair to me to put them all in a blender. Yeah. And just utilize whatever you got to
Right.
get through each day.
Yes. I need more of that gamifying and whatever it may be for business.
Hey guys, if you like this clip, go ahead and comment down below and let us know what you liked about it. All right. Share this with a friend. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. And also, we are on Reddit and Discord. All that's down below. All our sponsors and everyone that supports us down below there too. So you can get whatever you like from us. All right. Peace.